For our devotion, we're going through the book of Psalm, just giving you wisdom and drawing out lessons that will help us in times of crisis, in times of trial, temptation. See, the reason why we can relate with the book of Psalms because it's a very honest book. See, these are songs. Therefore, in a song, it shows a lot of human emotion and a lot of human experience. So journey with me as we study the book of Psalms together. First, let's look at Psalm chapter 1, and here it is. The first statement shows that a person that is blessed is really a person that delights in the law of the Lord. And when you talk about the law, in their context, of course, they're talking about the prophets and the law and all that. But of course, for us, it means the scriptures. See, if we delight ourselves in the scriptures, okay, we're going to be able to really live a life that is blessed. Surely we will have great counsel. Surely we'll find our purpose. Surely we're going to hear encouragement direct from God Himself because the scriptures is the Word of God. And the contrast of that is the person that the psalmist was talking about right here. One who walks with the counsel of the wicked, one who stands in the way of sinners, one who sits in the seat of mockers. So if we do not delight in the Word of God, this is what's going to happen. We're going to find ourselves walking in the wrong. And we're going to find ourselves making a stand for things that aren't right. And we're going to find ourselves in a place where all we do is just mock people, tear people down. And see, that's not productive at all, and that is not living the blessed life. So the blessed life really is living by the Word of God. Now, the person who lives by the Word is blessed because verse 3 mentioned that he is like a tree planted by streams of water. Now, what the psalmist was talking about here were trees that were near the streams. Now, these kinds of trees were the more fruitful ones. And he goes on by saying that it yields its fruit in season and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers. This tree is fruitful. There's so much that this tree is able to produce. And the fruit that is produced is good fruit. Fruit that benefits many. Fruit that glorifies God. Now, this is the image of the person who lives by the Word of God. He is fruitful. But not only is he fruitful, but also he is protected. He does not wither. He is one that has fruit that lasts. Now, in contrary, the one that does not live by the Word of God is like chaff. Now, chaff is the outer shell or the husk that must be removed, okay, in grain. Now, chaff was removed by a process called threshing, and when it's removed, the wind can just easily blow it off. Mean to say, not only will you not be fruitful if you don't live your life by the Word of God, but everything that you do does not have eternal significance, won't last, won't bless many. See, it also mentions here, and let me just say this, that whatever he does prospers in verse 3. Now, that does not mean, that's not an automatic promise, or not a sweeping promise that we can just receive that everything that we do will be blessed. Because we all know by now, in this time of pandemic, that good things, or bad things rather, happen to good people. But what this means is this, is that when you do good, it will have eternal significance. You may not get your reward here, but certainly you know that you've pleased God up there. And one day, when we see Him face to face, we are going to hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Verse 6 mentions that the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. See, the Lord watches over us. It's not just a watching, that's inactive, but this watching pertains to an active watching. God is with us in the very moments when we please Him as we live by the Word of God. On the contrary, the wicked will perish. Friends, let's live by the Word of God. Let's meditate and make this Word our delight. As we delight in the Word, we'll find ourselves to be living fruitful lives. Fruitful lives even in times like these. People may say that it's a dry season in this time of pandemic. But if we live by the Word of God, I assure you it's going to be a fruitful life.